Hey, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Coffee Shop Chatter with Mr. Controversy. So, today I'm going to talk about something that a lot of males or men don't like to talk about because usually it's a lot of blowback from the women. So, what I'm going to talk about is this whole abortion thing. So, apparently, it's making its way back around from when the SCOTUS overturned it and put it in the hands of the state. So you had people trying to blame, trying to put the blame on President Trump, saying that he was against, abortion and all stuff. But what he was saying is the government should not state or have oversight to say what a state should do with its own state laws. I agree with that. Things dealing with abortion, anything like that, should be based off of a state. If one state says you can't do it, like Texas or whatever, go to Louisiana, go to Oklahoma or somewhere else and get it done. I mean, that's your options to do it that way. So, like I said, they're trying to. You have a lot of the states that's trying to bring it back. You have Nevada. They submitted like over 200,000 signatures to try to get it reinstated. So you have Louisiana, who's just approved a law, and we're gonna go ahead and listen to that.
It has been less than a month since a law went into effect in Florida banning most abortions. And yet already we are seeing the ripple effects of that. The Washington Post reports on a new study today showing that wait times for abortions in nearby states across the East Coast are up nearly 30% since that Florida law went into effect. North Carolina clinics appear to be suffering the most from the increased patient load. Wait times in North Carolina have risen in half the clinics in that state. Now, it is not a surprise that neighboring states, once not as hostile to abortion, are feeling the effects of Florida's abortion ban. But what is surprising is the effect on those states is perhaps not quite as severe as expected. According to abortion clinic staffers in Florida, fewer women appeared to be leaving the state for abortion care than was widely expected, a finding largely attributed to the increasing availability of telemedicine and abortion pills. It's a good reminder that in a post-Roe world, the landscape of abortion access has changed dramatically thanks to the abortion medications mifepristone and misoprostol, which are being sent through the mail into states that have banned abortion. But that has made medication abortion the next target for the anti-abortion movement, with a case that could severely curtail nationwide access to mifepristone that's currently pending before the Supreme Court. And just today, Louisiana became the first state in the nation to criminalize not the use of abortion pills, but the possession of the medications without a prescription. That law was passed yesterday by the Louisiana Senate, and tonight it was signed into law by the state's Republican governor. Once the law takes effect, people in Louisiana could be thrown in prison for up to 5 years just for having abortion pills in their possession. Joining me now is Amanda Zaraski. She nearly died in 2022 when she was denied a medically necessary abortion in the state of Texas, which of course has banned nearly all abortions. She is now suing the state, trying to challenge its bans. Amanda, thank you so much for being here, and thank you as always for sharing your story. I do wonder, what your reaction is to the news out of Louisiana tonight, which is Republicans acting to take one of the last remaining tools out of the hands of women seeking to assert control over their own bodies.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back. In regards to Louisiana, first and foremost, my heart just shatters for all of the people in Louisiana who are now going to suffer under this new law. And frankly, it's terrifying. As you mentioned, very similar consideration is in front of the Texas Supreme Court where I live, and it's just absolutely terrifying. I truly can't believe that we are living in this dystopian reality where we can be punished, we can be criminalized, we can be jailed for accessing basic health care. And make no mistake, this is a direct result of Donald Trump and his overturning of Roe v. Wade, which, by the way, he continues to brag about.
So they trying to say, like I said, they trying to blame this on Trump. Talking about he overturned Roe v. Wade. That goes to show the ignorance of people and the lack of education of people in the United States. He didn't do anything. The Supreme Court of the United States is the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. And like I said, they put it in the hands of the state, not of the government overall. So the SCOTUS, if these women want to blame somebody, point the finger in the right direction. The Supreme Court of the United States overturned it. And what they said was it should have never reached that point anyway. They should have never pretty much made it where women can get it done. You know, it wasn't their job. That wasn't something they were supposed to have done. So they corrected what was done wrong and put it back in the hands of the state.
And if he's reelected, we know that he will make this an issue across the country, and it's absolutely terrifying.
You know, you mentioned the word criminalization, which I think is so important in all of this. It's the idea of the punitive nature of all of this. Women being criminalized for having abortion medication, which is, you know, entirely safe, has been for decades, has been approved by the FDA. Women criminalized for trying to cross the border to seek abortions in other states. But it's this notion that the law is cracking down on the people who seek to control their own bodies. And I wonder, as a woman who was in that situation, what it feels like to be told and to be positioned by the state as someone who is doing something criminally wrong.
It's unbelievable. It's unthinkable that there are politicians like Donald Trump who are trying to criminalize us for making decisions for our own bodies. These are decisions that should be between a woman and her healthcare provider. This is not something that politicians need to have their hands in. I don't think Donald Trump or his MAGA allies know better than my doctors. And so why do they think they have any business telling me how to make my own healthcare decisions?
You know, it feels like, you know, the first front was abortion. Then we're talking about IVF and embryos. We're now talking about abortion medication. Contraception is on the table. I wonder if we could talk a little bit about your personal struggle with IVF, given what happened to you and your body as a result of the Texas law, and what you're doing to sort of manage the increasingly dim landscape for women seeking any kind of reproductive assistance.
It's interesting for me because on the one hand, I fall under the category of being unable to receive an abortion when I needed one. And, you know, MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump are saying because that's pro-life. But then on the other hand, now because of what I went through, because of the ban in Texas that is a result of Donald Trump, I have to pursue IVF to try to build my family. And now MAGA Republicans are trying to tell us if and when and how we can access IVF. And so to me, it feels very much about control. And again, I don't think politicians have any business having their hands in my family planning journey or telling me when or where or how I can build a family. And so it's really disheartening, but it's also motivating to fight back because we can change this and we can fix this as long as we make sure that Donald Trump is not reelected.
I know that you've spoken publicly about your decision to move your embryo. Why don't you I don't want to put words in your mouth, but could you tell us a little bit how you've made family planning decisions? I mean, it truly feels like in this journey, you've been treated like a criminal on the run. And every time you see a path towards having a family, it's like there's someone that comes out of the corner with a new regulation.
That's exactly right. And you know, that's what I mean when I say this feels like it's about control. You're exactly right. My husband and I are very happy to have a number of embryos that we're hoping will one day become children. But when the Alabama Supreme Court ruling came out earlier this year, we were absolutely terrified. And so we instantly made the decision to move our embryos out of Texas because we know the political landscape in Texas is very similar to Alabama. And so we moved them somewhere that we felt they would be safer. But there is still a great deal of fear because, again, if Donald Trump is reelected, it won't matter what state our embryos are in because they won't be safe anywhere.
Yeah, well, he's looking for the Comstock, whether the Comstock Act or a national abortion ban. There are options that are very much on the table should he win the presidency again in 2024. Amanda Zarowski, thank you for being here. Thank you for telling us about intimately the struggles that you have been going through just as a woman trying to deal with her own body in the 21st century. I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So there you go. People with the bullshit. So like I said, it's the ignorance of people in the United States. You fucking sheep. And that's just the truth. People in the U.S. are nothing but sheep. They hear something and they run with the narrative. So, as I said, Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. Clearly says Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade, ending right to abortion upheld for decades. That's who overturned it. So all you damn women who have problems and all you little pansy ass men who have problems that act like females and you have a problem, you need to take it up with the Supreme Court. That's who did it. So this is my take of abortions. If you were great, if there's some type of life or death situation, medical to the woman or the child, where it's like it has to be done, or incest, because we're not gonna play stupid and act like that shit don't happen. Those are the guidelines I think it should be done. But you have some people, women, who's had multiple deletions of babies. Some of you like fucking hitmen. Straight, legal, illegal, whatever you want to call them, y'all like hitmen. So that's my criteria for it. So I say, yeah, bring it back. But the issue I have is, women, they say is my body, my choice. Yep, that's true. You have over 30 ways to protect yourselves from getting pregnant. Men have 3: abstinence, vasectomy, condom. That's it. Those are only 3. You have almost 30. Actually, you actually have over 30 if you actually researched it. There are 30 different ways. Women are the gatekeepers to sex, other than the less than 1%, well, I said, of the rapes that happen or stuff like that. You also set the ground rules, like I tell my daughter. You can say, hey, no condom, we ain't doing nothing. But at the same time, you still should be protecting yourself, whether it's through IUD, birth control. The women's got a condom now that they call is a little insert thing. The little sponge, well, I don't know, it's just y'all have a lot. Those are your options. So you say, my body, my choice, and this is the issues that I have. A woman can choose to keep it, abort it, even give the child up for custody, for adoption. A man has no say-so in none of those areas. They can't do anything. Only thing you can do as a man is sit there and wait to see what their decision is. They can put your child up for adoption without even your permission. Because it's happened. There are a lot of men now trying to get their kids back, or their children, whether it be son or daughter. They're trying to get them back because the mother put them up for adoption without telling them. Didn't even ask him if he wanted. So I say, if you bring it back, I think we need to have a man's type of abortion. Whereas when a woman becomes pregnant, she has to inform the man that she's pregnant. That man has the option of okay, you're going to keep it, and I want the child as well. Or he says, nah, I want an abortion. But his abortion is he signs away all his rights. You get no monies, nothing from him. That's his form of abortion. Because I guarantee you, you start doing that, women will have a problem. And then they was like, oh, he's a deadbeat dad. Well, guess what? When you go and put a hit out on the unborn child, you're a deadbeat mom because you chose not to do it. If you look at these past couple of years, hell, the past couple months, women who've been abandoning their kids. You had a woman, she went on the cruise, left a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old in the house while she went on the cruise. You had another lady, went down to Miami, Florida, to party it up. Left her child in the house, no food and nothing. The baby was eating feces and everything until it died. She comes home, cleans the child up, puts different clothes on them, and then call the police. Talking about her baby's passed. You said a woman not so long ago throwing some man's kids, 2 children out on the highway. So the the biggest endangerment to a child is a woman. From the time it's in the stomach to the time it comes out. Because while I was in something with like be in the club, I've seen it. Still be smoking. Still be drinking. Child comes along. You don't want to give them up to the father because even the fathers that want them, you don't want to give them up because you're getting something from him or you're getting something from the government. So at some point, the word accountability has to come into play. Same thing with men, yeah, accountability. You sleep with a woman with no protection. But if you're a woman, you stupid enough to fucking let a man do it, then that's on you. Because the sad thing about it is men have 0 rights to their kids, even if you fucking married. Your wife can take your kids and leave, and there's nothing you can do. Call the police and watch the cops tell you, hey, we ain't nothing we do. That's you're gonna have to go to court for that. A woman can put you on can put a man on child support, but you still have 0 visitation rights. In order to get that, you now in turn have to file custody paperwork for joint custody to get visitations to see your child, which is normally going to be every other weekend and every other holiday. So you're going to get either the even year or you're going to get the odd year. And if you want the child during the summer, like for an entire summer or whatever, I could tell you for Texas, you got to write a letter to the mother of your intent, and then it's up to her to say yes or no. So, like I said, as men, we have 0 rights for anything. But I guarantee you, in order to, I would say, to reduce the amount of abortions, because I could tell you, grew up in New York, I was 15, 16. We had this one female, same age as I was. She had like 3 abortions. No bullshit. She had 3. So, at some point, another way you can control it is, I say, start killing off government assistance. You give it to them for so many years. Because I think once you stop giving people stuff, and I would say, kill child support other than if you was married or whatever. But they won't do that because that's like $1 billion industry for these states. Because y'all know they get a percentage. You'll never get your full amount. They charge you like a processing fee, whatever. They take a percentage for that. Then they get like 60-something cent, 50, 60-something cent on the dollar from what they collect. So they get money that way. Then they have, you know, your, I don't know what the new system is now, that's still welfare for food stamps. They get money for that. It's literally $1 billion industry. Just look it up. I am not making this up. The government does nothing for free. There's always something that has to get, no, they gotta get their little cheddar. But hey, let me know what you think about this whole, you know, abortion and stuff with this Roe v. Wade. Do you think it should come back? If it do, especially the men, what stipulations or what laws do you think that we should have as men when it comes to that women have? You know, women, y'all, you know, women, you say your body, your choice. Why we can't say our wallet, our choice? I'm just saying, let's make it fair across the board. But hey, let's say get down in the comments. You know, let me know what you say. You already know I will go back and forth with you. Some, you know, make some sense. If you making like a little stupid comment, I'm deleting your shit. Because like I tell people, I can tell by your comments if you actually watch something. Because your comment is more of that like a toddler. I'm just getting to a point. You say something that has nothing to do with the video. I'm like, yeah, they ain't watching. And then I delete it. Because all you're doing is wasting people's time reading your BS. And like, you know, I do go back and forth with your stuff because you have your perspective, I have mine. I'll never say somebody's wrong. Like I say, everybody has their own opinion. But like I said, you already hit that subscribe button and tell me what you think of this whole, you know, they trying to circle the wagon to bring this Roe v. Wade back, and your thoughts on them trying to pin the tail on the donkey or pin the tail on Trump, saying he's the one that caused it to go away. So that's all I got, and I'm out.